The moment that you feel most overwhelmed is actually the best time to train. I know that sounds backwards, but once you understand why, it will completely change the way you delegate and grow your team. But here's the real question. If you already don't have time to train, how do you make time for it? We'll get to that by the end of this video. I was at a mastermind recently with other appraisers, and there was one appraiser who'd been in business for years, and he was telling the group that he could not train anyone. He could not hire, that he was drowning in work, and he was doing everything himself. And so that's why he absolutely did not have the time to bring on anyone else to his team. And I get it. I've said those exact words before. But what I told him actually completely shifted the way he thought about this situation. And I think it's going to be the same for you. Because most people think that the problem is time. But what if the real problem was when you're trying to train? I'll come back to what I told him in a minute. But first, let me show you how I learned this lesson the hard way in my own business. In my appraisal company, I don't inspect homes anymore. I've hired several trainees and other appraisers who are able to inspect properties for me. But because I'm a supervisory appraiser, if I bring on a new trainee, I have to be the one to physically train them in the field. I am not allowed to delegate that task to someone else. So now, when I have to train a new trainee, it is much more complicated than it used to be. I have to rearrange my entire schedule and figure out how to make the time to go out in the field with them to make sure that they're trained fully. So I have to start doing a job again that I haven't done regularly in years. It's not that I can't do it. It's just that it becomes much more difficult to step back into a role that you haven't done in so long to train someone new. If you're new here, my name is Nicollette Harris. I run a real estate appraisal company covering 3 states. I am a single mom of 2 kids, and I do all of this while managing a chronic illness. So when I talk about systems and delegation, it's not theory, it's survival. So here's what I told that appraiser, and what I wish someone had told me much sooner. The absolute easiest time to train someone is when you're still doing that job. Think about it. What is the difference between doing something by yourself and doing the same exact task with someone watching over your shoulder or watching on your screen? Nothing. When you're already in the trenches, training does not need to interrupt your day. You don't have to change anything about what you're doing aside from just voicing your thoughts out loud. It's as easy as saying, I'm going to send this email to person A explaining what I'm doing on this project because they asked for an update. Send. And just speaking it out loud is training. You can literally bring the person you're training along with you while you're doing all of your normal work. If you wait until you're less busy to train someone, trust me, that day will never come. You'll always be in motion, and that is exactly when your process is most clear in your mind, because once you are not doing that task anymore, once you finally have delegated it out, the steps are much harder to remember. Trust me. So how do you actually fit training into your day when you're already maxed out? Here's a couple tips that work for me. Tip number 1, every time you have to train a team member on something, hit record. Open Loom, talk through what you're doing as you're doing it. Even a 3-minute clip is gold for your future employees. Tip number 2, create a simple training library folder. You can use things like Google Drive, Monday.com, Notion, whatever you use to keep your files organized. Drop those clips in there. No editing, no perfection, just document as you go. Tip number 3, the first person you train is your documentation phase. Have them shadow you, whether in person or virtually, and record everything you teach them. Then, when you bring on your next person, they can watch those videos rather than shadow you. Because hopefully by then you're not doing those tasks anymore. And that is how you scale your training without constantly starting from zero. And if you're thinking, I don't have time to record all that, That's exactly what I used to think. Ask yourself, do I really have time to explain this exact thing 5 more times later? Probably not. Training as you go now and documenting it saves you hours in the future. Now, in some industries, you can delegate training, but in others, like mine, for some things, you can't. As a supervisory appraiser, I'm required by the state to personally oversee every trainee that I bring on. That is why documenting while you're in the trenches becomes so important. Because once you're out of that day-to-day work, going back into it to train someone becomes a major disruption. So this mindset changed everything for me. I didn't wait for the perfect time to hire because the perfect time does not exist. I built systems right in the middle of the chaos while homeschooling my 2 kids and managing chronic pain. And that's why I know you can do it too. Doing this is what gave me freedom. And you don't need everything figured out before you can start leading. You just have to start teaching as you go. So back to that question at the beginning. If you don't have time to train, how do you make time for it? Well, the answer is you don't. You just train while you're already doing it. That is the easiest time, and you will thank yourself for it. Now, I'd love to hear from you. What is one task that you really wish you could delegate, but you haven't yet because training just feels too overwhelming? Drop it in the comments. I might use your example in a future video and maybe help explain how you could simplify that process. And if this video helped you, please like and subscribe. See you next time.